Hello, this is Philip Harries from Pittsburgh State University Biology Department, and this video is for the Introduction to Research class. And the goal of this video is just to introduce you to some of the library resources that I think will be particularly useful to you as you're putting together your research proposal this semester. And I realize some of you may already be familiar with this if you attended Pitt State as an undergrad, but if you're new to the university, you may not know everything that's available through the library. So if you're starting from the university homepage, you of course need to get to the library site, and you could, go to the search and search for library, or you can get to it here through the academics header. Here, Leonard H. Axe Library, and that'll take us directly to the library homepage. And I just wanted to do a quick 2-minute tour here just to point out a few things. They do have this handy Ask a Librarian button here that will either open a chat at certain hours or send an email if you have a specific question for a librarian, or of course you can actually go to the library and ask somebody. Barbara Pope is the librarian that is the biology specific liaison, so she's definitely well versed in some of the resources that biologists would use. But really, I think any librarian would probably be able to help you. If we scroll down a little bit here, I definitely wanted to draw your attention to the summon search that's located right here on the home page. This is a very useful database search. It actually pools information from a bunch of different databases together, but it's a really handy tool for finding journal articles. And in the companion video for this, where I'll talk about some of the differences between primary and secondary literature and actually show you some tips for finding research articles, I will dig into the summon search just a little bit and show you what that looks like when you do a search using that tool. So summon search, I think you'll definitely want to use that at some point. You can search for books here with this second tool, but honestly, for scientific research, don't tend to reference books very often. But you might need to in your specific case, just depending on what you're working on. A lot of what you'll probably be doing is looking for research journal articles. And so if there's a specific journal that you're looking for, you could search for them by title here. If there's a very specific database that you want to look in, you could browse here. Jump down to this one. Browse list, so they just have all the different databases that the library has access to referenced alphabetically here. In that companion video that I just referenced, I was going to show you, as well as the summon search, the PubMed database, which is also very useful for particularly lab biology. Might not be as useful if you're a field biologist, but for example, since it's PubMed, we could access that here through the P section, and here it is down here, so quick link to that database. Let's go back. So lots of different databases to choose from. There are also these subject guides that I should point out. Let's put in biology here. Search that. So these are subject guides that are put together by librarians at Pittsburgh State. Ours was put together by Barbara Pope, the biology liaison, as I mentioned. If we just go to the home here, so they'll also call these LibGuides, which you could probably search for from the Pitt State homepage as well. But there's some useful stuff here. So there's a video, for example, on difference between primary and secondary sources. I'm going to talk about that a little bit in the companion video. Quick links to databases, very various journals that biologists would frequent, and some of the databases there that biologists would tend to use, etc. So I won't go through it all. You can always explore a little bit on your own, but there are some good resources here in the Biology LiveGuide. Let's go back here. Oh, oops, sorry, switched to another tab. Yeah, so that would be under Subject Guides or LiveGuides. And then really the last thing that I wanted to show you here was just in the login section, just to point out a couple of other things that could be very useful. So there is a summon login that's going to allow you to really take full advantage of that summon search. So if you're actually logged into your PSU account, you'll have access to full text articles and things like that that you would not be able to access if you were not logged in. So just keep that in mind when you get to doing your summon searching at some point. I also wanted to point out ILLiad, which is the interlibrary loan. I think this will come in really useful for you as you're trying to collect research articles for your proposal. If there are any articles that you can't get full text access to through summon search or whatever database you happen to be using at the time, you can almost always get a free copy of it through ILLiad. Excuse me. So I don't know if you've ever been browsing for a journal article. Sometimes you'll get to a point where it'll ask you to purchase access through the journal, and that can be quite expensive. $50, $75 for one article, and you should never have to do that. You can always request it through interlibrary loan, and they will just send you a PDF copy that you can download and keep on your computer or your device. The first time you use ILLiad, you will need to create an account, but once you do that, then it's really easy to use. So I'd encourage you to go ahead and just set up your account there, and then that way, when you are browsing for articles, it makes it easy just to go in and make requests as needed. I think the last thing I wanted to show you here was this RefWorks, and I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to click the link there, but RefWorks, if you're not familiar with that, is a tool that will allow you to organize your references. So as you're collecting these articles, you can basically create your own library within RefWorks. You can have various subfolders to help you organize things as you like, which is handy because you can have these journal articles all in one place that's web accessible. But really the great thing about RefWorks is as you're preparing your article, or in this case, proposal for this class, and you want to generate your bibliography, your works cited, or references at the end, RefWorks will automatically do that for you. So it will format all your references, and you can easily change formats using RefWorks if you need to. So it's definitely a nice tool to have access to, and I would encourage you to set up an account there, and you have free access to a RefWorks account as a Pitt State student as well. So anyway, that is the quick tour. Hopefully that'll get you started. At least you know how to find the library page and some of those key tools. But I would definitely encourage you, spend a few minutes exploring a little bit on the library page and see what you can find. Anyway, thanks.